This is going to sound like so much hate, and I swear it's not.
Welcome to the Warner Brothas Podcast. My name is Keenan, joined by my brother Kyle. Been a fun week of all-star basketball. The season starts back up today in the final stretch. This is where basketball gets really good. You get that. March Madness is coming through. We had a game and a half last night with Alabama and Arkansas. But how you guys doing? How you doing, I should say?
I mean, it has been a while since we've done just, a duo, so I get why you'd say you guys. So I completely get it.
It has been a minute, so
I'm doing all right.
Doing all right?
I'm doing all right. I'm glad we got this little NBA break. We're back tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA is in full focus, right? And then, depending on how you are with college basketball, if you love that, then it really starts to heat up here in a couple of weeks. But NBA is in full focus, and I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait to see how the second half goes.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement that can happen, and the Thunder aren't locked into the one, so the battle for that too, especially if Shea is gonna miss a little to a lot of time, because if he does miss a lot of time, the Spurs actually could make a push for that number one. So it's gonna be really interesting to see, or even the Rockets, they have a bad schedule. There's a lot of teams that could. One thing I want to quickly mention before we talk about All-Star Saturday night, I didn't get to watch a lot of it, but the game between Alabama and Arkansas yesterday was a 117-115 double overtime collegiate game.
Wow.
Where Darius Acuff Jr., he had 49.
I heard about this.
Shot 67.
I heard his, I read his name a lot last night.
Yeah.
In reference to Darren Peterson. I did not actually see what this young man did. I did not realize he dropped 49. He plays for Arkansas or Alabama?
Arkansas. He's statistically right now, he is in the running right now for being John Calipari's best guard statistically, which is insane.
I've heard this.
Which isn't. Hey, that's Shea, that's Devin Booker, that's John Wall, that's
Derrick Rose.
that's Derrick Rose, that's De'Aaron Fox. That's a lot of guards.
It's a lot of guards.
It's a lot of guards, and he is playing some of the best basketball at the guard position John Calipari has seen. And Darren Peterson, to talk about him just for a second, coach was disappointed in him. He had 23 points in 18 minutes. He was 7-12 from the floor.
He
could have played more and just said no. This is what he's 23 points in 18 minutes. It's man, that's so talented. And it's he just doesn't feel like playing. Whoever gets him, if they can get him to lock into basketball, it might be a steal. Do you take him on? It's gonna be interesting to see. And I'll definitely do.
I would not take him one at all. I would not take this guy one. And I thought that before. This year's draft. I honestly thought that before. I mean, granted, I don't watch college basketball at all. This is just going off highlights. But I said this to you. I think it was the last podcast we did with me, you and Brandon.
Yep.
I saw, again, the first thing I heard was Kobe Bryant for him. And I'm like, okay, let me pull up the highlights. And the athleticism wasn't close. That's what I didn't understand. He just looked way more like Ray Allen and Devin Booker to me, which still can be a number one pick. Which can still be a number one pick in most drafts. That's fine.
Yeah.
He's extremely polished, just like those guys were at 18, 19.
100%.
So I can see it. You can see the dude effortlessly scores, excuse me. But the fact that he doesn't want to play, that's very extremely Ben Simmons coded. And we know how it turned out with Ben Simmons. So I could see a world where this dude I could see a world where this dude, does enough on his rookie deal, gets that first big contract, and then who knows if we ever see from him again. Right?
Yeah. But we'll definitely talk more college basketball as March Madness comes up in the off season. I like to do mock draft stuff, so talk Brandon with that too, because he loves himself some college basketball as well. But NBA All-Star Weekend, I know it happened a few days, but it was. I would give it probably B-.
Yeah.
I think Friday night was A-. For what you expect out of that. I like that game. I think all the games. I think that they brought it. They were playing defense. It was trying to get downhill. So B+ to A-. I wish Cooper Flagg was there. Would have made that a little bit more star-studded and more of a spectacle. But hey, it happens. And then Saturday, I'm gonna give it a D, and that's being generous. And it's the 3-point contest was good, but I didn't see it. Why didn't I see it? It's at 5 p.m. It's 2 p.m. Pacific time. I didn't know. ESPN didn't tell me. Didn't tell me. I didn't get up. I knew. I was like game 1. I didn't even know it started. So that's a D. And then I would say Sunday would be another B to B, probably B plus to A minus, roughly around there. I think it was good, and we can talk more about that. I'll let you get your grade, and then where you want to start with All-Star Weekend.
First of all, what's your shirt say? I like your shirt. It's a WNBA shirt.
Oh, it's the WNBA one. It's the
25.
Yeah, it's the years
like
of the league. Yeah,
I like it. I don't have a ton to say about All-Star Weekend. Normally today I would record at 9 p.m. with the Is the Hype Real guys, but we actually recorded last night, which was great because then it allowed me and you to record today. And of course, we talked about All-Star Weekend last night. And I said essentially what you did. So I missed Friday. I forget exactly why. Oh, I was actually out with friends is why I missed Friday. And like, part of me was like, I kind of want to see what's going on for the Friday activities. But once I missed it, I was like, whatever. Like, I'm not missing too much, I don't think. You know, I got back probably around 11, so I definitely missed the whole thing. Saturday, like you said, we had no idea it was on at 8 p.m. I saw other people complain of this online, so it wasn't just us. Ridiculous. Like, what kind of marketing team are you running if people don't even know it's 3 hours earlier? I'll say this, Keenan, it seems like in the past, like when NBA TV used to run the old dunk contests and 3-point contests, it seemed like some of them might have been during the day, like during certain years. Like, it's hard to tell, but some of it seems like they might have been during the day. And I actually remember a few All-Star games, Keenan, that were during the day, like when I was a young kid. But I'm talking young. Yeah. Since then, like, shit, I don't know, 3rd grade on, 10 years old on, Keenan, I've never experienced an All-Star Weekend that starts at 5 p.m. So why out of the blue on the West Coast at that would they start at, for them, 2 p.m., 5 p.m. on the East Coast? I don't understand it. And if you are, friggin' barrage that shit all over, because I didn't see a single notification. I didn't see one ad on TV. I didn't see one ad on the internet, anywhere, any fucking where. So did we miss anything?
It'd be like if,
no,
it'd be like if the NBA, for like obviously the Sunday games that they have, those are always during the day, like the Sunday showcase that we're about to get. ABC runs them. It's like a 1:00 game. It's like if they just started that at like 7 for it's just, there's certain things that are stamped in where it's like, okay,
they do that too.
This is weird.
They do that a lot.
No, they do randomly do, but it's like, if you're gonna do it, just advertise it as such, and like send notifications. People, this is a phone like country now. Like, obviously it's cellular. Like, you send notifications. Don't just do it as commercials and like, oh, NBA All-Star. Like, send them to phones. Like, that's gonna be the way that you're gonna have to do it. But yeah, let's talk about the good before we talk about some of the bad. All-Star game was pretty solid. All-Star game was solid. Good. It was, and again, thank you to Wemby for bringing the energy and effort, because he really, as people, even the All-Star said, he brought that, and that kind of helped them start up. And from there, I just want to say that I liked the format, because I like the fact that it's short time. I actually am now, that would be my permanent fix, regardless if you don't keep it world and US, whatever. If you get rid of that and you just have it East-West, that's fine. That would just make it shorter. Don't add urgency. Always. Because, like, if you don't add urgency for these players, they won't care. Because especially when you have 36 minutes of I don't care about basketball, that just gives someone up the time to get up 25, 30, and then they're not going to try in the fourth. But if they only say give 8-minute quarters, just to give, like, you're going to get to the fourth quarter unless someone gets hot or like quick, and then you go from there. So I would just try to make, I'm not saying specifically 8-minute quarters, just make the game however you want to a target score, or make it shorter. And that's how you're going to get more people to try, because as well as we know, when you're playing even pickup basketball, you got to get your legs into it. But then it's like we're playing to 21 and it's 14-13. You're like, okay, I kind of got to turn it up now. And so if you have that, then I think you're always going to get an all-star game that's going to have a little bit more added competition. And these players don't have to feel like they're playing 28 to 32 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're not wrong in anything you said. And I think it was a great all-star game. Like, I'd even give it an A, honestly, because there was competition the whole way through. There was good games the whole way through, except for the last game. And the players tried. And special kudos to Wemby and Ant and Kawhi in particular, one from each team that particularly took it, raised the intensity and raised their teammates' intensity. But we saw this with the Alon ending in 2020. That was extremely competitive, even more competitive than this. It was like, I don't know, it was almost like basketball nirvana for a second, just for a little bit, where like you actually had all the biggest stars in the world competing like it was a pickup game, right? Like, even, like I said, even harder than the regular all-star games when it would get tight in the fourth. Like, these dudes were, I've said before, like, there's that famous clip of like 6 players. It was like LeBron, Chris Paul, Harden, like bitching at the ref over something. Like, they were tight. They were like, I've never seen that in an all-star game.
The Kyle Lowry took a charge.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what? Are we taking charges in the all-star game? We don't do that.
Yeah, that was 2020, and then the next 2 or 3 years that they did the Alon ending, it never matched the intensity. Not once.
No.
So I'm skeptical. Though this was great, I'm still shocked. Like, if there's one memory I'll have by it, Keenan, it's that Kawhi, of all people, took it seriously. Like, I was saying last night, like, he'd be one of the draft picks for the people that'd be like, all right, whatever. It's an all-star game. Cool. I don't even care that it's in front of my home fans. Like, I'm going to shoot a couple threes and I'm going to get out of here. Like, I have no memory of him not necessarily not taking the all-star game seriously, but he's just, he's laid back by nature. And he took it beyond serious. Like, he's been taking the whole season since he's been back.
Yeah, like, I feel like he feels like slighted or something. Like, like he's been taking this whole year, like,
aspiration Kawhi.
You guys forgot about me. We did. So we didn't really forget. It's just you didn't play much, and now you look as healthy as you ever have, and you're playing as good as ever. Like, we haven't had a Kawhi like regular season where he's putting up these numbers, so he's playing as good as he's ever played.
It's unreal. I mean, it seems like he does this every year where he'll have a slow start and then he's like 2019 Kawhi again, 2017 Kawhi again. It's like I've never seen it with a player. But like you said, this has been more consistent even, and he's playing every night even.
Yeah.
Back to the All-Star game. What the hell were we talking about? I mean, they raised the competition. Cool.
Yep.
I agree with you. Like, I don't know if the World versus USA format will stick. I do wonder if it made me think, Keenan, could you just create random teams like, I don't know, like 6, 7 and above team, or you know what I mean? Like, just come up with random,
like an all Kentucky team, or like an all like that. Yeah, you can just kind of do like the SEC versus the ACC or something like that. Like, obviously you'd have to see who's in there, or like, because there's a lot of different things that you can kind of create every year. Yeah. So I think that'd be interesting.
And widen your all-star pool too. I mean, you've got more than 24 deserving players. You could easily open it up to 40 different players, and make teams that way. Put 4 teams of 10. I would have loved to have seen Jokic take this game seriously and play. I know they said
he ever will.
I know they said he was recovering from injury, but he's been back for like 2 or 3 weeks, and playing heavy minutes. So I don't understand why he didn't play. Doncic, I do understand. But overall, I thought it was a great game. Saturday was pathetic. The commentary made me laugh. The commentary was good.
Yes.
Saturday was awful. The dunk contest was awful. I knew it was going to be awful when they chose Jace Richardson. Here's 2 things, Keen, they did. I didn't even hear, you want to talk about promotion? Most of these participants, I didn't even hear about till like the week of. I saw Jackson Hayes commit maybe a week or 2 ago, but Jace Richardson I didn't hear about till like this week. And they did a promotion for him, like on Instagram, whatever. There was, just the NBA page. And like I went to it, like I clicked on the comments to see what the people were saying, and one of the top comments was Jace Richardson himself with a Drewski meme of like, me, you want me in this contest? So I'm like, immediately I'm like, all right, if they had to dig that far to even where he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here, we're not off to a good start.
No.
And I know you say you have a fix for the dunk contest, Keenan. I
It's
need
a simple
to hear
fix.
it. I need to hear it because
it's incredibly simple.
I've said two things. I've said like I'm done with it, but then I also said after the Jaylen Brown dunk contest, like it's so bad it's good. If it's gonna be this bad, I'll keep watching. And it was this bad, and I kind of was entertained by it. But also, I wouldn't be mad at all if we just left it. After that Jackson Hayes warm-up dunk, I never want to see this shit again. Either keep feeding me this bullshit the way it is, or I never want to see it again. I'm fine with either. I really am. But let's not big it up like it's the biggest performance of the night and have it last. Give it the 3-point contest, the closing show. This is ridiculous.
Also, they started with the 3-point contest. What are we doing?
They did.
Like,
wait. You're telling me
what are we doing?
3-point contest and shooting stars, then
no, they need to go shooting stars, slam dunk contest, 3-point contest.
But you're telling me shooting stars was second?
Yeah, that's what
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Not to mention they had to get rid of the skills challenge, which who cares? But they had to get rid of it because of Chris Paul and Wemby last year. All right, let's hear this fix because I'm intrigued.
Well, first put it second because the 3-point contest needs to be last. That's the 3-point contest, and next year's going to be insane because Curry's now like, yeah, doing it. Hey, Dame, you're gonna do it. Clay, you're gonna do it. Book, you're gonna do it. And when he speaks, they're probably gonna get Book, Curry, Clay, and Dame. So that already makes it electric. But that's why the 3-point contest is always going to now be the number one show because there are stars. And yes, shout out John B, because making sure people have to do it is what I would honestly, that's one solid fix that you need, because I know people have been complaining like there's no more dunks. Carter Bryant's 50 dunk was nasty. Like that's just, you don't need all this fancy stuff anymore. Like, I'm as phenomenal as Mac McClung's 4 dunks that he didn't do in the All-Star or in the Slam Dunk contest were. They were insane. And if someone does that, give them 4 50s and send them home with the trophy. It's fine. But we don't need that. We need a spectacle. We need stardom. We need you to feel like you care. We need names. Like next year, even if they're just good dunks, if you saw Zion, Ant, John Morant, and Wemby, you would be locked in. You'd be locked in because you'd be like, wait a second, what can these guys do? And Ant's personality and him, just so all you have to do is just get stars. That's literally it, and make them do it. Just make them do it. Like that's really all.
Wait, that was your easy fix?
It is. It's a simple fix. You just need stars here. It's like the people, because when people have been complaining about the fact that there's no more. No, that's what I was saying. But people just were complaining about more so. It wasn't like an easy fix. It was more so the fact of people are complaining that we can't have a dunk contest because there's no more dunks. That was more the thing I wanted to talk about, because like it has nothing to.
I've always disagreed with that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. We watched from 96 to 07. We watched just different between the legs dunks, and we were pumped. I was pumped. I saw Kobe do it in 96. I watched Desmond Mason do it in 03 with the left. It was nasty. I still think it was. We saw Jason Richardson go reverse between the legs. It was disgusting. Like at that time, I was like, "Oh my god, look at this!" We watched Vince Carter's off the lob do. Like it was just different between the legs dunks. I loved all of them. Like it's all you need. So it was more so just like me addressing the fact that people are saying there's no more dunks because there's not really many. Dress it up better. That's really it.
Yeah,
that's the thing that
we just
gets
need names.
Me.
We can't have these weak ass you guys. No. They got 12th men. Like, and what, Kashad Johnson, that his name?
Yeah.
He won it by default.
There are people who...
He won it by default.
There are people who... He did, because Carter Bryant really should have won. All he had to do was, put together a good last dunk. But the one thing with Carter Bryant this year, as a Spurs watcher, is that all Spurs fans have seen is, this guy for some reason doesn't have the best hands for his athleticism. Like there's so many times this year that like he's missed the lob or gone to dunking. Like you can see the ball moving a little bit. Like it's weird. It's just like I don't know if his hands are smaller and it's harder for him to like grip the ball or whatnot, but he just doesn't have the best like hand-eye coordination with a dunk. I don't understand because he's got super athleticism. When he did complete the dunks, he was really good.
He actually
just needed
cared about the dunk contest, which I thought was at least cool. Like even in the interviews, he was like, "It would mean everything to me," and it didn't actually seem like premeditated response. Like he actually seemed genuine about it. When Vince Carter, like he was missing his last few dunks there. Vince Carter was like giving him advice and trying to pump up the crowd, and he like listened to the advice and was like nodding his head. I'm like, all right, this kid at least gets it. He doesn't play, so he's not like no NBA fan really knows him unless you're a sicko at this point. But I mean, I'm glad he took it seriously because aside from Jackson Hayes, when they were showing the like in the preview packages, like these guys dunks from the season, like Jace Richardson, they only had like 5 dunks from him, and they were all like just 2-hand dunks, like just regular like set the ball in dunks. Kashad Johnson, they had a few like breakaways, but Carter Bryant, they only had, I think they showed the same dunk twice at one point for him. Like these guys don't get enough run in games at all.
Yeah. No, that's unfortunate, but then we know that we need names. That's really all we need. But the names need to understand you guys don't have to be Jordan Kilgannon. You don't. All you have to do is go out there and be special, which is why LeBron upset 4 tomahawks from LeBron, like a between the legs, a tomahawk, a reverse, and everything with just you jumping over the rim, essentially. That's all you need. It's really not much. It's easy. It's easy. Like the end of like the Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine, they weren't doing the insane dunks that they had started off doing because they were literally coming up with them on the fly, but they were still incredibly impressive. Like still incredibly
They were kind of insane too.
No, they were by insane, I don't mean like they were insane because he was taking off like a step from the free throw line and doing a windmill. That's an insane dunk, but it's not like insanely creative. It's not like, oh my God, I have to do a spinning mascot and trying to, it's just like, I'm just getting the ball and just using my athleticism to an insane degree because I have that. That's more so what I mean.
The way to get stars in this contest, cut it. Get rid of the contest. Get rid of it for 3. I'm serious. Get rid of it for 3 years.
You're not wrong.
Get rid of it for 3 years and people will say, oh, we miss it. Especially like if they don't replace it with a good competition, if it's just a 3-point contest, shooting stars, which no one really likes. Really all anybody likes at this point is a 3-point contest. So my idea, and I think I've said this before, but if I haven't said it, I'll repeat it right now. Blow out the 3-point contest to like 24 guys. We have so many guys who can shoot right now. Kind of like how you said, Keenan, like you mentioned Wemby being in the dunk contest. I don't know if that would be as entertaining as like a real dunker, but it would get your eyes on it. It's kind of the same thing with a 3-point contest. Even if you put a non-shooter in there, I'm going to watch it. I want to see how they're going to do in this level of competition. Someone posted a pic of Kevin Durant, who had a very interesting weekend. Someone posted an old video that I'd completely forgotten about. You want to talk about people being embarrassed about the dunk contest? I completely forgot that Kevin Durant had a round of 6 in the 3-point contest. Completely forgot about it. Like, there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like, if anything,
no one cares.
That's more embarrassing. Like, having a bad shooting performance wide open, to me, is more embarrassing than missing some tough dunks. Like,
yeah, you're trying to do something spectacular that it's hard to do. So, like, that's why it's impressive to have you do it. And that's why it was a spectacle, because it was like, these athletes are insane. But you're right. Even if you had like a 16-team bracket where people went against each other, like that could be fun too. Like if you had like, say, Steph and Con Knipple, hey, winner of this goes to the next round. Like, because now you've incentivized every single round till, I mean, obviously you already have, but like instead of being like a top of 4, you're now like, I'm competing with this guy. Could be fun. Like that could be something too, and you could blow that out more because you have 16 guys and then you just go against each other. But yeah, we have your NBA tiers. Yeah, we have your NBA tiers. The NBA All-Star Weekend.
I do have my NBA tiers. Actually, I do have one more topic. I want to get to before we get to my tiers. Chris Paul officially retired. He is an all-time NBA
Yes.
great, an all-time NBA
Yes.
point guard, top 10 NBA point guard of all time by any measure.
Easy.
What are your memories
top
of
10,
him?
not 10.
What are your memories of him? What are you like? This was very unceremonious.
True.
It's still Chris Paul. It's Chris Paul. So I want to hear your thoughts and like what your memories of Chris Paul as the years past go on.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Spurs basketball last season, so I watched Chris Paul. He played, I think, all 82, or it was not real close to all 82, but I want to say he played almost all 82 last year. And still one of the best passers in the league. The IQ didn't go anywhere, and though he didn't have the athleticism that he once had, he was still able to find lanes and do well for that team. And plus, in the locker room, I think he really helped Stephon Castle grow as a playmaker. So shout out to him for that. My first memory is always, I want to say it's Game 4, Lakers Hornets, and he had a 29 or 31 point triple double. And it was one of the greatest games that I've ever watched live of a player, like watching it at that time. Obviously, there's been way better games, but just somebody like Chris Paul, the command he had over the game, it was what we see in Jokic, just from someone who is short. It was every possession we're getting into the best shot. It was, okay, Pau Gasol, come out here. I'm going to take you on a pick and roll, fade away mid-range. Okay, Andrew Bynum, you can't do anything with me. Okay, we're going to get this pick and roll here. We're going to get a corner three here. It was basketball wizardry, just like him controlling the whole game. So that's my first initial thought of Chris Paul, is that specific game, because it was one of the games I watched when I was 14 years old, and I was like, this man's amazing. Like, my goodness. But his ultra competitiveness, him not being afraid of any moment, the fact that he didn't get a championship doesn't even really, like, it bothers me only for the fact of I wish he got one, but it doesn't bother me when it's talking about his all-time, like, kind of rate, because he's not up there with, like, the top 10 greats, so it's not like you really part with that, but, like, he did everything you could in a basketball career other than win a championship and win an MVP, but he was even in MVP conversations multiple years, plenty years, and he did get to an NBA final. Shout out to him with the Suns. So just a phenomenal career, one of the 10 greatest point guards, as you said, and he's not 10. Like, you can start having a conversation after Magic, Isaiah, Oscar, if you count him. I know some people almost call 2, but he's a 1 to me. And then there was one other guy that I'm blanking on right now. But there's 4 guys that are kind of there, and then after that, you can start having those Chris Paul, John Stockton, Chris Paul, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, Steve Nash, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook, even. Like, you can start having all of those conversations, and he's easily in them.
Yeah, man. Chris Paul is someone who had no holes in his game, right?
Yes.
You talk about him being a shorter point guard, but
I always called him a 6'1" LeBron. Like, if LeBron was 6'1", I feel like he's just Chris Paul. Like, that's always what my mindset has been.
There was years in the league where he was easily the best defender from a point guard position, where he, like, on ball, he was super tough. He was always in the passing lanes. Like, he was just unbelievably quick, which sounds simple to say, but he truly was at times. Like, even in a league with Derrick Rose, who quick and fast is probably the most insane athlete I've seen from, let alone the point guard position. But like Chris Paul, just with quickness, was right there. Especially again with the passing lanes, with just, I don't know. Chris Paul was something to see in his prime, truly. And it was really the weirdest thing for me throughout his career was to see how the public perceived him. And maybe this was just NBA media and how that's gone over the last 15 years. But he went from beloved in New Orleans, and he was unbelievably fun to watch in New Orleans. New Orleans truly, even with Anthony Davis, I don't think New Orleans has been nearly as relevant since Chris Paul has been there.
No.
You know, he goes from there to the Clippers, and they turn into Lob City, which was amazing. Yes. And somewhere during that tenure, the Clippers became hated, and reasonably so. They all they did was bitch to the refs. Between Chris Paul, between Blake, between Doc, between Austin Rivers, all they did was complain, and they became hated. and I really don't want to get into this NBA online discussion, but like then it became like I've seen stuff of like how the Lob City Clippers were chokers because they never won a ring, and it's like there's other teams in the West. You know what I mean? Like the West was loaded then, so like they were probably number.
That's not even
4.
the worst Clipper. That's not even like the biggest choke job for the Clippers team in the last 10 years to not win a ring. Like
right?
they lost 3-1 to the Nuggets. Is no bigger choke job than that Lob City Clippers.
Right.
Like,
so
what are you talking about? The Spurs were better than them, and then the Warriors ended up being better than them towards the back half of the Lob City Clippers. Like, it's not a choke job, and the Thunder are in
were
there. Like that. The fact that they did what they did, it was unfortunate because they never really had a full healthy playoff run. It was either Chris Paul might miss some time or Blake Griffin might miss some time or something. They never had a full, like, felt like a run together. So choker, no.
To their to the Points credit though, the couple years they were healthy, they actually did choke. Famously against the Rockets.
The 3-2, I was gonna say that 3-2 game with Harden sitting on the sideline. They didn't choke that one away.
And they had a series with the Thunder. I forget if it was 14 or it was one of those years. I think it was the year before the Rockets lost, where they had a game put away and Chris Paul actually turned. I know this is supposed to be a memoriam for Chris Paul, but Chris Paul had a key turnover which flipped the series for the Thunder.
Yes.
But back to CP3. Truly during his prime was one of the most complete players I've ever seen at any position. If you would have told me like after that Clippers trade when it first happened, or even when he was on the Hornets, if you said, hey, Kyle, he's going to play until 2026, how many rings do you think he gets? I would have said at least one. So it is shocking to me that he never got one. He at least did get to the finals, was up 2-0. Great players happen. Giannis happened.
Giannis did Giannis.
But, you know, again, I'm not trying to make it this narrative or anything, but I do remember somewhere in the 2010s, people started calling him like a choker in the playoffs and like someone who didn't show up in big games. And that's not at all true. I thought Chris Paul was one of the players you'd want
game winner against the Spurs.
Game. Yeah.
Game 7? Same night as Floyd fight?
Chris Paul would always make the best play late in games. Like he's someone I'd want the ball in his hands. If if I was a Clippers fan or if I was a fan of any team he played on, that's a guy you want the ball in his hands. He's usually going to make the right decision, like a LeBron, like a Jokic. So I'll miss him. It's weird that it went down like this because he was, probably one of the, I don't know, top 8, for sure top 10, but, maybe top 7 significant players of the last 25 years. Like he's on that short list. I won't even say 25. I'll say 15. From the time he was drafted to now, he's definitely on the short list.
Bron, Steph, KD. Then after that, Kawhi has to be obviously because of the finals, and then Westbrook, Harden. After that, Chris Paul, and then if you want to count Kobe because of playing that, sure. But after that, like he's more like influential than Dwight Howard and those guys. Even though Dwight was big, like it's not like that. Like, but yeah, I would say after those guys, like you can't really argue too many unless you're starting to get now into the Jokic kind of like realm. Like he's still continuing there, but no, he's phenomenal.
He was a significant figure and remained a significant figure up until I would say 3-4 years ago. Because he still had a couple years
until really his Warriors tenure. Like the Warriors really, because even on the Suns, he was obviously there. Like the last time he was really, really significant was when Luka looked at Devin Booker and was just looking at him to the side of Game 7. It was like his last moment because then the Warriors happened and then the Spurs and then now this year. That's been sad.
Indeed. Yeah. Congrats on a career, Chris Paul. We 100%. We will miss you.
Clearly, first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah. Amazing. One of the top 10 point guards of all time. Great player.
I'll be interested to see if he goes into coaching because that's one player that everyone has said, like, oh, after his career is over, he'll make a fantastic coach. So let's see if he goes the Jason Kidd route. I could definitely see it. He's definitely a friggin'
I'd take a shot.
He's a mini dictator for sure. He loves being in control.
No one's pushing. Like no one's going to push through him or like try to like he's gonna gain that respect of people. and you can't look at him and be like, player would be like, you were never anything. Like, come on now. Like, don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to me like
He might be NBA Bobby Knight. He might be NBA Bobby Knight. Who knows?
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm interested to see what happens next with Chris Paul. But shout out to Chris Paul for a phenomenal career.
All right, Keenan, I've been discussing this for like 2 seasons, going back to last season, how I was going to do NBA tiers because I've been doing my NFL tiers for a couple years now.
Yep.
I even said I was going to update them like as soon as Christmas Day. That would be my first NBA tiers. And I did not do it. I forgot. I got lost in the sauce of the NFL season, but got this mini break. I decided I would do it while we're on All-Star break. Obviously, the season starts back up again tonight.
Yep.
Without further ado, and I know we're on limited time here, Keenan. You got to leave in about 30 minutes. So what we might do is we might cut this in half. But if we get through it, we get through it. So we'll see. Tier 1, or the last tier, I should say, the most bottom tier. This is called rock bottom. Only one team. That is the Sacramento Kings. No idea how they got here. No idea how they got here from the light, the beam seasons. They had like 2 seasons there of real success, real competency. I don't understand how we got here. I don't understand why they traded De'Aaron Fox for nothing. I don't understand why they fired Mike Brown. It seems like they just literally like, I don't know. They clearly don't know what they're doing, but they actually, unlike other organizations that like suck and clearly don't know what they're doing, I think Sacramento genuinely, whoever is in charge there, does not know what the hell they're doing because I don't know. I'm speechless. Why you would try to reconstruct a team around not only Russell Westbrook, but Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan in place of De'Aaron Fox and, Sabonis, who's still there. But you had a nucleus of Fox, Monk, Sabonis, some good young guys. And you switched that up for instability. Got rid of Mike Brown too on top of that. Like, I don't understand it.
They were the 3 seed. They had De'Aaron Fox. They had Sabonis, Keegan Murray, Malik Monk.
Keegan Murray, that's right.
I think Keon Ellis.
Traded him for no reason.
They were a 3 seed that had that team. And because Steph put 50 on them in what could arguably be called his greatest game he's ever had, they just said we're done. The next year they weren't They still phenomenal. They beat him after. They beat him in the play. Yeah, I know. They beat him out. They beat the Warriors in the play-in the next year, and I want to say they got to the 8th seed. They lost as the 8th seed in the first round the year after that, and then just from there, the De'Aaron Fox, are we re-signing him? Not re-signing him? And then they said, "Hey, we'll trade him for nothing." And that all got way. The only reason why that hasn't talked about more is because Luka Doncic was traded a couple days before. It's really like it overshadowed the fact that the Kings made a horrendous trade. They gave Trey Jones and Zach Collins in the trade for De'Aaron Fox. So, yeah, I'm fine with them here. The only saving grace is this draft is supposed to be completely loaded, and it is completely loaded, and they have their own first-round pick this year. That's really their saving grace. And like Sabonis, they basically said, you probably need some sort of surgery. You can get out for the year. We don't need you.
Him and Zach LaVine. They said, "Oh, you guys." Both
it was like, hey, like, oh, you guys, there's something nagging because if they were 31 and 18 right now, they'd be playing. I feel like they wouldn't be out for the year. Maybe I don't know.
Well, my favorite
don't know their body and their health.
My favorite part about Sabonis, it's a torn meniscus, so you do need surgery on that. But the thing is, he missed time for the torn meniscus, and my understanding is you can have 2 different surgeries. Like there's 2 different operations. One that's non-surgical that clearly he did because he came back, and then a surgical one. So he's having both procedures done within, I don't know, 4 months because this happened in season. So I don't know. So that was rock bottom.
No argument.
That was rock bottom. This tier is called the bottom, and it's 2 teams. It's just the Brooklyn Nets and the New Orleans Pelicans. Brooklyn was supposed to be here. Brooklyn's meant to be here. They're going to have a long-term tanking process. The Pelicans have a ton of young talent and just cannot get it together. There's talk about the Sonics coming back in Vegas, being an expansion team like that. Those talks are heating up again. I would much rather see New Orleans move to Seattle or Vegas. I cannot stand New Orleans, or I cannot stand an NBA team in New Orleans.
It's a football area. You got LSU matters more there than the Pelicans. It just does. So like you have LSU that matters more, and clearly the Saints matter more, regardless of how even good, bad, or in between the Saints are. They matter more. Just get out of there. There's no need to be there. Seattle will embrace you. Promise.
The Louisiana Saints, as Tim calls them. Shouts to Tim.
Yeah. Shout out to Tim.
Gap year. And this is interesting. You might be wondering, hey, Kyle, why are the Washington Wizards not in the bottom? They're definitely not rock bottom, but why are they not? Weirdly, because of these Trae Young and Anthony Davis trades. And by the way, let me give you the other team. It's the Indiana Pacers and the Washington Wizards. Pacers, we know, as Keenan had them in the NBA championship for some reason, preseason. Pacers are without Tyrese Halliburton. Pacers are without a few of their main players right now. They just made a trade for Ivan Zubac. Traded away Benedict Mathurin. So I'm very interested in what they look like next year, obviously.
Yes.
But it is a gap year. They will be in playoff contention next year, maybe even title contention next year. The Wizards, who, again, before the trade deadline, they would have been in the bottom tier with the Nets and the Pelicans. Because they have Trae Young and Anthony Davis, this is now a gap year for them. Because I think they'll be, if they have Anthony Davis all season next year, which it sounds like they will, I expect them to compete for a playoff spot next year. I think they would even be better than a play-in spot. We'll obviously have all summer and fall to talk about where the Wizards could fall. But I don't know, all their young nucleus. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying they have some guys, but you're talking, dude. No,
I was going to say, with their young guys, with Trae Young and Anthony Davis in the East, why can't that be a 6 seed? If everything goes well. You get some shooters around you, which they have. Yeah, I don't know. Sky's kind of the limit with them, as long as Trae Young and most importantly, Anthony Davis is healthy. So
but Trey Johnson's a guy who is coming out of Texas, high level scorer. Keyshawn George was a guy who had high level talent coming out of Miami. Alex Sarr out of France was a guy who had high level talent too. Justin Champagny plays well for them. Koulibaly, I always pronounce his name wrong.
Koulibaly.
Good. Koulibaly, thank you. Good. Like they've got 8, right? Or 7 to 8 right now. Like a fully healthy 7 to 8. That's good. It just how can these guys develop? So 100%. They were kind of almost what we felt the Hawks could be ish this year.
Yeah.
Like we thought the Hawks were going to be around the possibly a top 4 seed, and a lot of people were on that. Like just because they had Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, and others. So
I liked the Wizards roster and their future before the trade. The fact that they made both trades without giving really anything up for their future makes me like the squad a lot. They're one of the most intriguing teams to me, seemingly overnight. This next tier is called Enjoy the Ride. These are young teams who are, obviously towards the bottom record-wise, but they've got enough young talent. They're fun to watch to where you just tell the fans enjoy the ride. Because it's only going to be up from here, and the aspirations could and should be high, to be honest with you. And that's the Dallas Mavericks and the Utah Jazz.
Love Dallas here. Utah's been a team that's like, just because they've clearly been actively tanking. It's just like, but when it comes down to like objectively looking at it, Ace Bailey, Lauri Markkanen, Nurkic, Keontae George, like they've got some players. They really do. And like this year's draft is going to help a lot of teams. So it just depends on where you're picking in this year's draft. But like they have players. And then I really like Dallas of like what they can be. Like the future there is definitely bright. Really, you have Cooper Flagg, and that's all you need at this moment in time, like to make your future bright. Obviously you need more than Cooper Flagg to go win a championship, but when you're talking about just we have the chance to have a bright future, Cooper Flagg's enough to be like, he's averaging 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. Might not win Rookie of the Year because Concanible's been so nasty this year too. Like, they put on one of the best white on white crime performances we've seen in quite some time since the 80s.
I thought you were just gonna go rookies. I thought you were just gonna go rookies, but
it was true. White on white crime. We haven't seen a performance like that since Stockton and Bird were playing against each other back and forth. Like it's been a while since two white guys like that are going back and forth. That was a fun game, and I watched the fourth quarter of that game.
If you call Cooper Flagg the Great White Hope, the fact that you got Con Knipple and a lot of other white guys, American white guys on top of this, you got Chet out there. Like, there's a lot of great white Reed Shepherd. There's a lot of great white hopes for the young white hoopers out there. So
we have some coming in too. Like there's a guy at Florida who's not like. There's some guys coming in. Like I'm telling you. It's return of the white.
You're 100% right though. Like the fact that you have Cooper Flagg, that's all you need for a bright future. He is he's so easy to build around because he's so versatile. He's just so he's so malleable that you can literally stick him anywhere. Whether it's small forward, he can play the 4 a little bit. I feel like eventually he'll even be able to play small ball 5, kind of like Draymond did. And he can handle the ball a little bit. Like he's got a little Draymond to him. He's got a little Kawhi to him. He's got a little Pippen to him. He's got a little KG to him. Like there's so many players you can say he takes elements of, and this is the worst he's gonna be. Grant Hill, and this is the worst he's gonna be. What do you actually think, Keenan, at 22, what he's gonna look like? Like, get top what?
I don't. In 4 years from now, like 3 years from now, I don't see how he's not a top 10 player. I really don't. Like, I just don't. Because, like, the thing with him, we were talking Darren Peterson in the beginning. Doesn't get Cooper's the opposite.
Yeah, he loves
cares.
He
loves this. So like he cares about this. So like I don't see, especially when you have Steph, who's going to be out of the top 10, KD, who if you call him top 10-ish adjacent, he's going to be out of it. LeBron's obviously not top 10, but he's top 20. So you got those guys, Harden, and those guys who are kind of like not within the realm anymore. So you're going to have these young guys. There's a lot of young guys here that are great too. Like Cade has taken another step. A lot of guys have taken that step, and there's going to be guys coming in too. But I would be a little disappointed if in 3 years from now, like 2029 season going into it, I'm not thinking Cooper Flagg's a top 10 player. I'd be a little disappointed.
In 3 years, I would be disappointed. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say disappointed.
Well, I mean, I guess for me, like I think
it's a testament to how great he is already that you have those expectations for him.
That's and like that, like, and I don't mean like in a bad way. I just mean like, man, he's not top 10 yet. Like I just think he is so like polished, good, and like there's no reason why next year going into it, he's not 24, 8, and 5. Building at least a play-in team if they have the right offseason. And you're like, all right. Because, like, obviously you have your top 5, and your top 5 is going to be your top 5 in 3 years, other than maybe Giannis. He might take a step back. But outside of that, then it's like Cade. Where's Jaylen Brown, Brunson, those guys. And I'm like, Ant obviously could stay there, but I'm like, I don't know. I think Cooper's probably better than them in a couple of years. Like when it comes to Jaylen Brown and Brunson, but like they're great players. Don't get me wrong. If you're not, like, it's because they're great players too. But I don't know. He just has the potential to be an all defensive first team guy and 25 a game plus. So I just don't know.
He's unreal.
Special,
he's wise above.
He is special, man.
He's wise above his years. The motor he plays with is insane at this age, and it's only that'll never leave. We see it with Westbrook; it never leaves. So we never have to worry about that with Cooper Flagg. And
I guess that's where it's like for me, like Wemby too. Like he plays with such just like Wemby cares about this, and so it's just I guess the guys that just care about it that are this talented early. I'm like, I just don't see how they're not great. Like they're gonna be just phenomenal. I just don't see how they don't. Not that these other players don't care, but like they visually are like, it hurts when they lose every game. Like it hurts, and rather than be like, you're gonna lose them.
And with the Utah Jazz, this year on top of last year, on top of the year before, all 3 years they could have feasibly and were in position to make the play-in, and then they tanked their way out of it. However you feel about that, I don't know. I mean, there's been enough tanking conversations across NBA podcasts and NBA discourse over the past week and a half. But one thing I'm going to be interested about, and again, they're in this tier because I do love their young core. They already compete. Keontae George is just the gem of the year, the like diamond in the rough of the year. And he's been producing. He's had games before, but like he's consistently playing at an all-star level since December. And they've got a good coach. I cannot wait till they finally put the pieces together. I'm assuming it'll be after this draft because it's, again, like you said, it's an extremely loaded draft.
You keep Lauri? I'm just saying, or would you?
I don't see why not. I think they would have traded him by now. Especially at the deadline.
He's 28, so it's not like he's crazy. He's actually 10 days younger than me. But like, so he's.
I don't see why you don't keep him. He's to me, he's white Jeff Green, and I'm not saying that about his game. I mean that about like you look up, and every year this dude has like one of the 10 nastiest posters of the year, and you're like, where did that come from? And by the way, I say that Jeff Green had one literally last week before the break. Jeff Green had another one. Shouts to Uncle Jeff Green. Because Lauri Markkanen is one of the most underrated poster guys in the league. Like,
100%.
Punches on people, and I love it. And I love Lauri's game. Shouts to Lauri.
He's been one of my favorite players coming out of Arizona. I don't know why.
I remember that.
I've always had
I remember that.
Big fan of Lauri Markkanen. Always have been.
The last thing I want to say about the Jazz before I move on. The Jazz owner was the guy, he's like one of the boosters for BYU, and he's one of the big reasons why DeBansta is at BYU. I would be super interested, and I can't wait to hear like the conspiracies if AJ wound up at the Jazz somehow. Like if the Jazz got a top 3 pick or a top 2 pick, and they wound up with AJ. I'd be on conspiracy island there for that one, just because like the connection, like that's the only reason he would go to BYU. Clearly, why would a kid from friggin' Boston, damn near, go to BYU? Money, obviously.
But hey, all I'm saying is Keontae George, Ace Bailey, AJ DeBonta, Lauri Markkanen, and Yusuf Nurkic is getting it done.
They've got a ton, and they've had Walker.
I was getting it done.
Walker Kessler's been out for the year too.
Yeah, Walker Kessler when he comes back, because really that's going to probably be replaced with Walker Kessler rather than Nurkic, and then
Triple J.
Kyle Filipowski's been okay. Triple J for
Conchar.
Couple years this Utah. This couple years this seems could look real nice.
This next tier, Keenan, it's called the Chicago Bulls, and it involves one team, and that's the Chicago Bulls.
You put a team that's not the Chicago Bulls. You're like, it's the Chicago Bulls tier. It's actually the Grizzlies. What?
The Bulls will forever be in their own tier because they are only interested in making the play-in. They are not interested in competing. They are one of the banner franchises of the league, too. Like, this would be like if in the NFL, if the Steelers or someone like that, or even the Ravens, I don't know, a team that had past success. The Raiders, actually. This is a lot like how the Raiders have been. A team that once had glory, who just can't get it right. The difference between the Raiders and the Bulls don't seem to want to get it right. They just want to be cheap. So I hope one day we get to a point where Jerry Reinsdorf sells and we can get real basketball blood back to Chicago, because that's one of the best fan bases when everything's going right. The league 100%. Feels same way we talk about the Knicks, how like if the Knicks are good, the league has a different feeling. The Bulls are the same way. The Bulls, when they are good, the league has a different energy. And it doesn't seem like we'll get there anytime soon. But as we've said a few times, loaded draft, maybe they will stumble into a player that will cause them to have no choice but to be a contender, much like the Derrick Rose.
Because here's the thing. It's like their team right now is like a superstar away from being like nice, like real nice. Because like Giddey's good. They just traded for Anthony Simons. Like they have Matas. Jalen Smith is pretty solid. Like they've got some pieces there where you're like, oh, okay. If we were to put a superstar, like if you just like put, I don't know, it's like random superstar on this team, like Ant on this team right now, you'd be like, oh,
Zion
actually got a nice. Like if Zion could stay healthy, yeah. If you put Zion on this, like they are just like one superstar away. They're like in almost the same spot of where the Heat feel every year. It's like we're a superstar away from being a championship team. The Heat are always there right now.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, Keenan, I actually have a tier that's right after the Chicago Bulls that I'm going to save. I'm going to flip it, okay? Just for the podcast purposes, I'm going to flip this. But when we make the graphic, they will go after the Chicago Bulls, all right? So, so this is really 2 tiers up. This is play-in dynasties, and it's the Atlanta Hawks, and it's the aforementioned Miami Heat. These are 2 teams who have, I literally think for the last, 3 or 4 years, each of these teams have been in the play-in.
They live in the play-in.
The Heat, we kind of
finals from the play-in,
right? Yeah.
Come on,
the
come
Heat,
on now.
We kind of could have predicted, especially starting off with the hero injury. You could have predicted that maybe they were going to be in the play-in. Atlanta had a lot of real, including me, I include myself here. Atlanta had a lot of real top 5 seed hype before the season.
Yes,
and Trae Young was obviously injured, and this became Jalen Johnson's team, and they still employ in my opinion, one of the best coaches in the league, and Quinn Snyder. And yet they still are in that 8 to 10 range as far as seeding goes.
Yep.
Maybe they will take a leap. I still love their young talent. They got rid of Trae Young. They didn't get much in return for him. They did get Jonathan Kuminga at the deadline. I don't know if you saw this clip, Keenan. Could be completely out of context. Probably is because it's a 7-second clip. But there's a clip of Jalen Johnson talking to Ant right after the All-Star game. Do you see this?
No, I did not.
And Ant says back to Jalen Johnson, whispers something to Ant, and Ant says something like, "Shit, I can't wait to go home. They got Jonathan Kuminga over there, blah, 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 blah." Kind of made it sound like he's thinking about joining the Hawks maybe one day. I don't know. Again, this was just a 5-6 second clip, but he very audibly and clearly says, "Shit, I can't wait to go home. Blah, blah, blah. Y'all got Kuminga? Y'all got them wings over there?" I don't know if he meant that as far as like, I can't wait to play against the Hawks, but one could definitely take that as I cannot wait to play for the Atlanta Hawks. So I don't know. Something to watch.
All I got to say, like, that is something to watch. Because, I mean, I feel like you can only be in Minnesota for so long.
Maybe.
I know some people love it, but like, I mean, the Timberwolves have done well by Ant so far. It hasn't like they've been like, we're going to be really stagnant. They've tried to make moves and see what they can do. They've been in the conference finals the last 2 years. So they've done well as an organization, and they look like they could get there this year, depending upon how they play. But speaking on the Heat, yes, you're right. The Heat always have some young talent that you're like, man, okay, didn't think he was going to be good. Now he is good, but they are always just missing that one superstar. And at some point, they're going to need to trade some of those young pieces. Trade some of those young pieces to get a superstar there, and then understand that that's probably going to be like a 1-year retool. It won't be a rebuild, but it'll be a retool, because they'll have to trade a lot of their young pieces to get a superstar, and then they'll draft and develop well because they have one of the best systems in the league. And then the Hawks, on the other hand, man, Jalen Johnson is a problem. He is so good. And then Dyson Daniels is just he's just a quality guard. They have Alexander Walker, who's good. Risa Shea has been playing better. So like they got some stuff. And then hopefully Kuminga on this team being just young is able to live up to some of this potential. I mean, he showed a little flash of it in Golden State, but obviously we never saw the peak of which they're hopeful for. But yeah, this Hawks team, couple pieces away from, I think, doing something and being a team for the next few years where you're like, at least they're in the conversation of, can they get to the second round or even the conference finals?
Yeah, this roster as constructed, and they have cap room, and I think they're gonna have New Orleans pick this year. So I mean, they're gonna get another guy on top of this. So
one of the craziest trades, I just wasn't expecting them to add that first, and they didn't need to. But hey,
yeah, they did not need to add an unprotected first. They could have definitely protected it, but I mean,
like just a protected first. Like, golly, because they could get. What if they got 1-1? They could get the first pick in the draft with this Pelicans pick. Like, that's realistic. So
they've got a nice mix of veterans and young guys. They've got a lot of length between their young guys. They've got a lot of defensive potential between their young guys, and just vets that make sense with this team, and a lot of shooting. So they are one player away, but they also don't need to go get that player. They just had that player in Trae Young. They traded him away. They can kind of ride this out. And Jalen Johnson looks like he's going to be that guy. He was obviously just an all-star. He's obviously taken a leap. So you can kind of ride this out for 2 or 3 years on top of whatever player you might get in this draft, which is insane.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to watch this team grow. They're fun. They're exciting. They can run. They can lock you up if they want, and they'll be able to shoot. So, I mean, that's all things we love. And this will be the last topic, the last tier. And again, as when you see the graphic that we put out, they'll be flipped. And really, you could kind of play it either way, but I think it makes more sense with playing Dynasties ahead. This tier is called Franchise Players, Franchise Questions. And this is where we'll lead off because you have to leave after this, and we'll put out a part 2. There's 3 teams in this tier.
Can I guess them?
Go ahead.
Clippers, Bucks, Grizzlies.
You got it. They are franchise players or franchise questions. They're teams with franchise players that have franchise questions. The Clippers made a lot of moves at the deadline, as we mentioned with Kawhi.
Can I just say one thing before you go? I might add the Warriors to this.
They originally were in here. They actually were in here.
I don't know where you have them, and I'll figure that out because I haven't seen these tiers. Just for people knowing, I don't see Kyle's tiers. I react to them on the spot. Might have the Warriors in this, just all depending on where you have them. And that's a team that hurts because obviously, I love Steph. Like that just hurts that they were in the bottom.
Oh, we know you love Steph. I want someone to put together a Steph counter for Keenan because I think even during the NFL season, I think somehow each episode Keenan snuck in a Steph reference. I don't know how, but he did.
Yeah, I mean, it just all depends. It just all depends. I just have that's just Steph, guys.
I'll tell you this: the Warriors, when we reconvene tomorrow, Keenan, the Warriors will be in our very first tier that we do. So they are in the next tier. And again, how this actually is laid out, he would be 2 tiers ahead of this tier. So it's only by record that he is two tiers up because the Warriors were originally in this franchise players, franchise questions tier. I very strongly considered them. But Clippers, they're here because of Kawhi. He is playing out of his mind right now. Their roster got worse, but it might not matter. We actually haven't seen this product altogether with Darius Garland. I think they got better from a future standpoint if Darius Garland can stay healthy, getting a 26-year-old point guard who's been an all-star. But will Kawhi say what actually happens? I don't think he's a free agent next year. He might be, but he could very well demand a trade, and he'd be well within reason to demand a trade, I think. So that's my question with them. The Bucks, I mean, come on, we've seen the whole saga this year with Giannis. I don't actually think he wants to leave. If he really wanted to leave, he would have already been out of there. It's annoying. It's extremely annoying. I thought it was all forced to begin with when this started in the summer when Shams put out like Giannis would consider a move or Giannis, there was nothing concrete. None of these reports, even up until the week before the trade deadline when it said, Giannis would be open to a new home, there was nothing concrete like an actual Giannis trade request.
Yeah.
And according to Brandon Petty, he said they got a real offer at one point from the Minnesota Timberwolves and they didn't take it. This is another team who, if they bottom out, they could find their way in the lottery and get a real player next year too. So, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked at all if Giannis stays. And then the Memphis Grizzlies, the whole Ja situation, obviously. He's still around. They look to trade him at the deadline. He said prior to the deadline when there was a lot of drama going on that he would want to stay in Memphis, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I actually think, and we'll discuss all these. You're going to respond, but I actually think it would be smart of the Grizzlies to hold on to Ja Morant. He's still extremely young. You can do a rebuild with him. We've seen this in years in the NBA's past where this works with certain stars. Paul Pierce could have left Boston a million times over, stayed, and he reaped the benefits of it. I'm sure there's other examples, but I mean, if you stay at your team, eventually you're going to ride it out. This is a team that's not only found good young talent, but still has good young talent, even in the wake of these trades. You can't just stumble into another healthy Ja Morant. I'll add that healthy because he's been unhealthy the last 3 years. technically more unhealthy than Zion, who we're always talking about his health. So his biggest issue, because it's been a while since he's had an off-court issue with, whatever he got suspended for a couple years ago. His main issue since then has been, can he get on the court? He's actually not been a distraction off the court. He's just been not able to play, not able to stay healthy. So you react to that. You react to this tier.
20 games this year, 50 last year, 9 the year before that, 61, then 57, 63, 67. He's never played 70 games in a season. And this was even when he was like peak Ja. But I'm actually fine out of all of them keeping Ja, because he's a free agent in 2027, 2028. So like you still got years with him. And you were mentioning the Celtics and how obviously they kept, and that's like the highs. The quote unquote lows, which is not even really a low because they did get to the conference finals one year, would be kind of with what Dame happened. Like you have Dame, you try to build around that, you don't fully get there, and then you trade him when he's more aging, even though they got some pieces for it and they did well. But the thing with Ja is he's only 26. Obviously, players like this don't always age the best because of the athleticism and like what they need. But he's only 26. You trade him in 2 years, he's 28. People can still find value with John Moran at 28 or 29 years old. So like I'm agreeing with you. I don't think you have to trade him. Kawhi and Giannis, it all depends on what they want, because they're both unrestricted free agents. After like they're finished this year, they have one more year on their deal. So both of them are going to be going into that season like, we're either going to have to re-sign you or we're going to be going to free agency. So those are two guys where I'm like, the offseason might be where you look to trade them, and I would wait until after the lottery, but before the draft, because now you know exactly where you're drafting. It's not like the NFL where you're like, okay, that's the worst team in the league, we know they're one, or whatever. So I would wait until even after that, because now instead of having to like play the lottery game and maybe they fall here, maybe we fall there, it's like, oh, so just for the sake of argument, the Utah Jazz have the one pick, just a random team. It's like, hey, Utah, we'll trade you Giannis for the one pick in Laurie or something like that. Like, just something random. And maybe they're like, you know what, we already have some talent, we'll take it. And then the Bucks can take that and go. And the same thing with the Clippers with Kawhi, where he's like, maybe I want to go to a championship team. You trade him to a team that's close, but not there. Phoenix has some young talent. You're like, hey, I'll trade you to Phoenix and you get talent about it. Something like that. So I would wait personally for those two for the offseason, but I do think there's a possibility that both of them move at some point, just because both teams also may not want to just go in and be like, hey, we're not actually going to keep them, so we're going to get nothing for them going forward. But that's my thoughts on this. But overall, I think he did a good thing with this, and we'll talk more about it when we get back.
Yeah, gun to my head, I think at least two of the three will be still in uniform for their current teams this time next year, or let's say before the trade deadline next year, opening day even. I think it's most likely that Ja gets traded, just because it seems like Memphis actually wanted to trade him. But I don't. To me, unless there's, which obviously they would know, unless there's more going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. What's the real benefit, especially if his trade value is so low that they couldn't trade him at the deadline? Okay, if he doesn't have value, then keep him. Try to get him healthy, and if you really want him to get traded, let him play hopefully 20 games straight. See if he can actually put together production, because when he's on the court, he's still putting up numbers. If you can actually get that from him, great. Then trade him, but don't trade him at no value.
And they also have pieces around him too. Like I like Cedric Coward, Jalen Williams is solid. They got like Alderman. Like they've got Cam Spencer. I think they've got people around him too that are pretty interesting too. Walter Clayton Jr. could be interesting too. Scottie Pippen Jr. has played well for him. So they've got some players that they can actually build around too. If you do trade Ja, you could get something, probably like a bigger wing, and then you have some guard depth that could make this team interesting.
Yeah, much like the Kings, it's just like, what happened and where did this go? You had Desmond Bane, you had Triple J, you had Taylor Jenkins, and you fired him for reasons that I guess remain unclear. People try to put that on Ja, but I'm not sure if that was all the way the truth. And then the Clippers, the Clippers are completely, like you said, that's completely at Kawhi's mercy. If he wants to stay in LA, he'll be in LA, and they're going to try to resign him. That was the whole point of him leaving Toronto, was he wanted to be on the West Coast. He wanted to be near home.
Yeah.
So, sure. And then the Bucks, I really do think Giannis is going to be there. I think if he didn't want to be there, he would have been traded already. So that's really the genesis of it. So quick review. Rock bottom, Sacramento Kings.
Yep.
The bottom, Nets, Pelicans. Gap year, Pacers, Wizards. Enjoy the ride, Mavericks, Utah Jazz. The Chicago Bulls tier, the Chicago Bulls. Franchise players, franchise questions, Bucks, Clippers, Grizzlies, as you just heard, and then playing dynasties, Atlanta Hawks, Miami Heat. And then there will be several tiers ahead that me and Keenan will get to on Friday.
Absolutely. I'm pretty much with what you have in the order in which you have it for the most part. Like, I think we'll probably have more conversations about where we have the top tiers, but for the bottom tiers, typically we don't have much to argue. Even if you see the NFL ones, the bottom tiers is like, we might move this team to this team, but there, and then when it gets to the top tiers, it's really when the conversation starts, because it's the difference between 6 and 10 is more than the difference between 24 and 28. So,
yeah, I think the only thing that could be contended here, I can't talk this morning. The only thing that could be in contention here would be the Wizards not being in gap year, and that's reasonable. I could see why someone would say they aren't in gap
year.
But
I like the young talent more than probably some people do, and I think with Anthony Davis and Trae Young, I think they could have as much success as John Wall and Bradley Beal did. So, gap year.
We shall see. We shall see. This was the Warner Brothas Podcast. Keenan and I will be back tomorrow for part 2. So if you're listening to this, if you're hearing this, by the time you do hear this and finish this, we will have recorded likely. So be on the lookout for part 2. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. Catch Warner Brothas Podcast on all platforms. Peace.